So it's a great blend of kids, and great leadership in the COVID era when it's difficult. They're all great student athletes. They all have aspirations beyond this, and I think it was a great opportunity to coach these boys. So just a little view of the senior class. Many of these players are part of our 2018 Class A championship football team. These seniors, who obviously in the 10th grade when they were, they had 2 out of the 3 years of winning season. Our program has had 5 winning seasons in 15 years. These seniors here are proud to say they had 2 of them. So it's a tremendous thing. These kids reminded me that we didn't get the chance to play the sectionals this year, but we really were the first place team. So they would have been obviously the odds-on favorite to be the Class A champions this year after beating both UE and Binghamton. Like I said, it's those guys who have been part of the who were 3-year starters. They were defeated UE 3 times, and they didn't always start that way. They had a modest beginning, and then unmodified. So they really grew. So I would like to talk a little bit about each of the boys, and for the sake of not having Colin up on crutches, so I'll talk about number 21, team captain Colin Kittner. So as a coach, you never want to see anyone obviously be injured, but when a player goes down, you kind of have a vibe of what's going on. And unfortunately, in our first game, Colin was on the ground, and he stayed on the ground. And those of you who know Colin Kittner, he's been on the ground. He may have hit somebody on the ground, but he's going to get back up. I knew it was unfortunate, and I knew that, in a certain season, that's not how you want to end your season. But it was only the beginning for Colin. Colin's got great aspirations. Colin was fortunate enough to be a scholarship football player next fall for Seton Hill University. Let's hear it for Colin. Colin has played what we call A-back and B-back. He played inside linebacker, outside linebacker. Our second game, when we didn't have Dante, somebody else had to step up. So Colin evolved from being an outside linebacker where he harassed opponents for the entire season, last 2 seasons, to playing inside. And those, it's a completely different position. And we evolved with Coach Anderson and myself to allow Colin to kind of blitz when he wanted to, because he had that vibe. Like I said, he was a team captain. He's a 3-year starter. He's part of that 2018 championship team. He's also part of that group that beat Elmira. Those who don't know, Elmira was 8-0, scored 50 points a game, and we beat him. He was part of that. He's an all-conference selection. He led the team in rushing and sacks in 2019. He had over 100 yards a game this year, as well as 2 touchdowns against Johnson City. He's a world powerlifting champion. Yes, world powerlifting champion. He's a sectional runner-up in wrestling. I was also proud to say that when we played SV last year, they hadn't given up a touchdown until on the first drive when Colin Kittner ran through the end zone and scored for our Golden Bears. He is a ferocious pass rusher. That's all I can put. Most determined, just like Ryan, just like all these other kids on our team, they just want to get there. Very sad as a coach to see somebody get hurt, but I know that Colin Kittner, his life story will be a success because he represents himself and his family in first class. And this is a small adversity, but he'll be successful at everything he does. Let's hear it for Captain Colin Kittner. On the end, Jason Kretschmer. Let's hear it for Jason. So in a COVID environment, all of a sudden we could be on two sports teams. And boy, that was a blessing for our football program that not only could he be a soccer player, but a football player as well. The commitment level on being 2 teams is unbelievable. Those of you know him, he doesn't say much, he just goes out and works. One day he wasn't kicking as well, and I thought to myself, well, he's been in practice and played a game the night before, but the commitment level is unbelievable. My expectation for him on the special teams was a little unrealistic. We wanted him to kick it only down the left field, the left hash, over the guy, the up back, squib it before the guy got it, and not go out of bounds. He could do it. So that's a big, ask, and he always was there for it. Those of you who were in our Windsor game, the unbelievable kick down in there, bounced around. The kid didn't know what to do, and I think Kyle Bennett, is that right? Kyle jumped on it, and it changed the game, the heartbeat of the game. So there we were with the ball inside the 20-yard line right away. And I mean, high fives and excitability. Always had his nose wanting to get in there and tackle somebody. Got an opportunity at the last game to jump in there. But a great kid, and obviously a multi-sport athlete. and we had the pleasure of coaching him, so really appreciate the opportunity to coach Jason Pressman. Let's hear it for him. Okay, number 52, Todd DeGroat. Let's hear it for Todd. So those of you don't know, and most of you do know, that Todd, we like to consider him a 4-year football starter. He was a 9th grader, played on the offensive and defensive line. His sophomore year on the championship game against United, he forced 6 fumbles and had 3 sacks in that game. Dominating performance. Unfortunately, he got injured the first game of his junior season and was unable to compete this past fall. So, played 2 years of football, and arguably as good as we've ever had as a defensive lineman in just 2 seasons, even though he was short. So, a boy whose senior season is cut short, you think, well, what are we going to do? Well, all Todd did was step up and be a mentor of a lot of our young offensive linemen and defensive linemen, all the boys at the table that played that role. To be able to demonstrate, to teach, to coach things that are difficult just to show, and give a little expertise on that. Todd is a national champion wrestler. He's one of the greatest, perhaps, wrestlers we've ever had in school's history, and he is receiving a full ride for wrestling to Lehigh University, which the value is north of $300,000. So, academics being a critical part of everything I speak to. Those of you who don't know, we talk every day about social media and academics and what its impact is, and not only our program, but your families. He's a 90-some-odd student, and is everything we could ask for. I've known Todd since those of you who played on the Hill, his Raider days. He was on our Raiders team, and he was a passionate, unbelievable football player. And once again, like Colin Kittner, like Dante, those guys that got hurt, terrible to see, but boy, they've learned a life lesson, and they're going to bounce back even better for it. It's going to be really weird not seeing Todd go around for me. The lights go on, and he's there. He's always been there. So, unbelievable respect for Todd DeGroat, and we can't replace him. We're just going to miss him. So, let's hear it for Todd DeGroat. So, number 88, Noah Johnston. Step forward there, Noah. So, Noah played this in 9th and 10th grade, and did an outstanding job on the junior varsity team. All his years, did a great job. Very athletic, made some big plays, and then didn't know if he was going to play football. I was like, you're not going to play football. Got to play football. So, our basketball coach here, Mr. Carter, God bless him, was able to, along with my help, and we begged him to play. Listen, he put all this time in the program, and he wasn't sure if he was going to play. He made an impact in the basketball program, and Coach Carr said, hey, how about if we play Noah Johnston at free safety? All right, let's give him a whirl. We never look back. He started every game. We talk about impact. He kicked the ball off in the opening kickoff against Van Inwell. Who runs down and knocks the ball loose the very first play? Noah Johnston. Okay? And despite his stature, and he's very tall, but he's a little lean, he had 2 of the most vicious hits we had all year. The guy from JC and his Windsor game, I mean, nailed this poor guy. As a dad, I was like, oh no, don't do that. I was like, oh my God. Unbelievable job. He gave up no long passes down the middle. Did a fabulous job with that. He's going to Morrisville. He's missed practice one day. I always joke around because he and Willie Crop can't be 3 feet away. They're going to be studying the same thing. They're riding the same car. They come to practice together. It's one of those friendships you need to have. So I'm very proud that Noah Johnston, finished up his career, was a starting player for us, and I just love his personality, and really proud of what he did for our Golden Bears. That's Noah Johnston. Let's hear it for him. Okay, number 10, Alex Thrasher. So, Alex is another one of those people that really embraced the weight room. We would regularly get 35 to 40 players in the weight room, and Alex, being a senior, really embraced it, changed his body, his effort, unbelievable bounding and lifting, and an unbelievable increase in that. And that carried over to how he played. Alex is a 3-year starter for us, and in my tenure here at Vestal as a head coach, his interception in the 2018 game against Newey over there Alex was playing running back and corner, and I had the bright idea that I'd play him an outside linebacker at varsity. Well, sure enough, he got the quarterback turn, threw the ball, and who intercepted it? Alex Thrasher. And in a tight game, that was all we needed to take the lead. We kicked the field goal, we ended up winning the game. So he's made an impact on day one. In 2019, he was our leading rusher. He had 2 critical touchdowns from the defensive side in a victory over UE this year, scoring a fumble and an interception. He was 4th in the team in tackles. He had 3 sacks and tackle for loss. He scored twice, like I said, on defense. He scored as a wide receiver. He scored as a quarterback. He returned kicks for us. Unbelievable. And one of the things I always point out for Alex was it was a tough physical game against Johnson City. And I said to him, listen, just keep hammering. And 2 or 3 guys hit him. We got a couple downfield blocks from Danny Harding and a couple others. And he popped out and scored. And really took away the spirit of the JC team. So Alex, to me, running back, wide receiver, quarterback, inside linebacker, outside linebacker, strong safety, and kick returner. So made an impact in everything he did. And I'm thrilled for he got the opportunity to be this dominant senior year. And he's going on to play lacrosse at Portland. I'm very proud of Alex Thrasher. Let's hear it for number 10. Alex Thrasher. Okay, number 34, Dante Burns. Let's hear it for Dante. So Dante was a player that's a 3-year starter for us. He started out in junior varsity. He played, I believe, maybe 1 game, 10th grade, maybe 1. And his impact was known right away. Dante had gone to Endicott before that, and then by week 2 or 3, he was a starting defensive player for us in his 10th grade year. He's what I would call a rock steady linebacker. His senior season was dominated by injuries. He had 2 severe ankle type injuries, and it limited what he could do. But on the field, give you an idea how impactful he was. He had 12 tackles in the Shenango Forks game. Those of you with the JC game, he made an interception. One of the first plays when the defensive line was harassing him, Dante made an interception, and we were able to bang that in right away. He had a key role when he was in 10th grade on our championship teams, and against Elmira, it was a dominating run team. We put a 10th grader in what I call a triangle, and he just got after him. He had a 200-yard rushing game last year. He had over 500 yards rushing last year. Against Maynenwell, he was 3rd and 26 or something this year. We ran a draw. Dante got 35 yards, physical run. Like I said, he primarily had 10 to 12 tackles every way, and it was a regular occurrence where he put a devastating tackle on somebody if he came between tackle and tackle. His senior season was limited by injuries, but he's also committed to play football at Banquet, and he's an all-out player. So guys like these are tough to won't replace him. We'll just have to miss him and hope other kids learn from him. So let's hear it for number 34, Dante Burns. Okay, number 58, Mr. Right, got your number right? I'm not that old. Okay, good. I'm bad with numbers, especially when we get 2 turn numbers. Number 58, Gage Day. Let's hear it for Gage. So I got to meet Gage, I guess it's COVID world, but 2 summers ago, I guess it was when we came to town, and he was anxious to be a part of our group. He had never played offensive line. I think he played tight end and linebacker. Is that right? Okay. And, I said, geez, a lot of enthusiasm. What was his role going to be? He knew the district, knew the kids. And to know him now is he's fully embraced by all the boys, and they all have a great relationship. So here's another guy that I challenged him that he's going to be an offensive lineman. And to know him, you believe he's going to be. But by his physical stature, he may not. But was the guy that was in the weight room every time. I had a running joke that he and Alex always had these big water drugs every day. They were there every day, and they worked, and they worked, and they worked, and they worked. And he made it work. I'm very proud of him to go in there. And I said, hey, you're going to be the center. Huh? Center? You're not the center. Well, sure enough, he started every game at center and did a great job. He's very fiery. I was complimenting him on his nice shirt and everything. The Windsor game, he wanted to kill somebody. I was like, I got to calm him down. He's going to murder somebody. Literally, but he plays with such passion and fire that, don't read a book by its cover. He was going to fight every guy. Now, like I said, these guys are walking 340-pound linemen against you, 330 against Windsor, two 290-pound defensive tackles from Shenango Forks. That is an unrealistic expectation. But they made it work. Loved his athletic ability. I loved what he did. Used his quickness and his determination. And that weight room. Whatever he started at was all improvement. To embrace a change and to come out on the other side, being that successful says a lot about a young man. So his aspirations are to go to Broome Community College. I don't know whatever he does in life. I'll be there for him and he'll do well. So that's a senior, starting center. Oh, and one of my favorite speed crabbers. So those of you who don't know, the kids laugh. When we play out Meyer, we do this thing called the speed grab and try to make a pile out of the team. Well, that is a thankless job. And Gage did a phenomenal job last year with Larry and Willie and all the whole crew of really shutting down on Myers' approach. And it's a thankless job. So has a real importance to me that never goes away. So let's hear it for number 58, Gage. Not here with us, and Danny's not here. Danny Hardy's not here. Okay, we just want to give a shout out to him. So there's another athlete that we're able to get from another sport. Danny's a multi-sport athlete. Made impact right away. Those who were at the Maiden Willow game. Never played football. Made a hit, unbelievable by our sideline. Forced 2 fumble and had an interception in the first game. Wow, what an impact. Played for Coach Carr's basketball program. Begged and pleaded, and he made an impact. So I'd be remiss if I don't mention his impact to this group. And did an unbelievable job as the corner on our team. Great kid. Did everything we asked for him. So I don't want to go without talking about Danny Hardy. So let's give a round for Danny. Really nice. Let's hear it for Willie. Come on. So, Willie and I've known Willie since he was very little. We live in the same neighborhood, and that's a blessing and a curse for him because Coach lived at the end of the street. Oh, God, they got to see Coach coming by. So, Willie did a thankless job. I told Willie at the beginning of the season he had to know right tackle, right guard, center, left guard, and left tackle. And he laughed. I said, no, I'm serious. Because we don't have any guys to play with. So all he did was learn it. And to know to pull on this way and go that way, pass protection, is unbelievable expectations. Willie played on junior varsity as the center, and I've used him at so many positions. A year ago, he's one of my famous speed crabbers, I call him. Thankless job, but they did a wonderful job. He did everything I've ever asked of him. So this season involved, and it's COVID. He couldn't find anybody for 4 months. Well, was like, I'm not really sure I want to play. Of course, Johnson wasn't playing, so it looked like a 2 for 1. They get one, you get the other one. You gotta do their own. So he said, I'll come to practice. So Willie comes to one of our running sessions, and he works out. And I'm like, hey, where am I, Willie? Where'd he go? Just here for 5 minutes. Well, his tongue was hanging out. He's about ready to die. I didn't do anything yet. I'm like, Willie, what's going on? So we didn't see Willie for like 2 weeks. I was like, man, come on, Willie, you gotta come back. And I told him, your commitment, what you've done for our program will take you a long way. So Willie finished up with our group, came in, started at right tackle for us, played right guard for us, and in the final game, when we had a bunch of injuries to Dante, he played on the defensive line. And was harassing the quarterback and was all over. So I'm going to challenge Willie to keep that passion up in everything you do, and you're going to be successful. Especially with your co-part over there. Noah and Willie, same college, same major. They're like a package. So I love coaching Willie Crop. I love his ability. He jokes a lot. I love that. And he's truly a great person. So I have high expectations for him. And I'm thankful to get the opportunity to coach Willie Crop. Let's hear it for Willie. I just want to give one last round of applause for these boys and what they've accomplished, not only as athletes, but as people. Somebody were to ask about any of these boys, they need something in life, I'll be the first person for them. They've done an outstanding job, they've committed to this, and they should be proud that they're representing our Vestal Golden Bears. So one big round of applause again. Let me just do one more thing, Gina. Will do that? Is that okay? Yeah. One more thing. Okay. We have Gina and the gridiron committee's back. Grab your bags. Grab your bags.
They all got most of their gifts. senior night, because I didn't
Okay.
know we were doing it.
Those of you who saw those unbelievable pictures of the boys in first class, what a memento. I wish we had those when I was around, but we didn't. Mine was in black and white, so. I'm thankful for those. I've also got some awards. What do you guys got a plaque?